So for overhead pressing, when people run into issues, it's usually when the shoulder is abducted too far. Okay, we're gonna have you start with overhead pressing right here and just let your arm go over your head while irradiating tension in your arm. The other factor is how well your scapula is upward and downward rotating. So we're gonna do a banded overhead press as well, but I want you doing it on your bad side first. And all you're simply gonna do is externally rotate against this and maintain external rotation as you push up to here. Okay, as I come down, my arm wants to dump forward. So I have to contract the backside of my shoulder to maintain that position. Okay, on your bad shoulder, that gives you problems on overhead press. If you feel like you can't do this, then we have to train how well the scapula upward and downward rotates as your arm goes over your head. You could do the same thing for internal rotation as well, where the arm wants to pull into ER. That's generally less of a problem for people, so I'm not even gonna bother doing that with you. Give me a try with this, then we're gonna do overhead press one more time, see how it feels. So you're getting yourself into, yep, exactly, abduction, irradiate the upper arm, and then externally rotate from there. Do you feel the backside of your capsule firing? Yeah. Okay, and if you feel the spine wanting to excessively extend, the same principles that we did on the overhead press, you are trying to recreate the environment in which you're doing this in. Now, without losing that irradiation, begin overhead pressing as if it's a dumbbell and feel the tendency of the scapula wanting to come up, and then as the elbow comes down, I want you to feel the scapula kind of tucking and downward rotating. And the arm wants to dump forward and you're not letting it. So you have to maintain tension in the backside of the shoulder capsule as the scapula comes up. And then when you're finished with that and you're coming down on the negative, the scapula downward rotates. You see how much you're irradiating and shaking there. So train that neurology. Train the integration of the spine not extending and the scapula moving along with the humerus. Exactly. Straighten that elbow, straighten that elbow. Beautiful, and then come back down, and then we'll switch arms, and you can kind of just assess, is this a weak link versus the other side? So now check, is your good side way more responsive? Does it click? Does it resonate a little bit better? So we're 90 degrees of abduction, you have irradiation of tension. We now feel posterior capsule, right? Backside of your shoulder firing, it's shortening. The arm wants to dump forward, and you're creating tension here, not letting it dump forward. Go ahead and start pushing over your head. How much less effort do you have to give that? It's like night and day, isn't it? It's like night and day. And so train that on the other side. We're doing this to kind of touch on it so you're not totally ignoring it. But again, if the other side struggles with that upward and downward rotation of the scapula, then integrate it, train it. This is your primer. This is part of your internal training before we go into overhead press. Give me one more good one, and then we're gonna have you do the standing overhead press one more time. Now, if the shoulder feels like it's burning out, just speak up. Okay? And we're trying to give you graded exposure to overhead press. Graded exposure being whatever you can tolerate today. I will let you pick where your elbows are, although I would prefer that you're not all the way here. I would like you as far in abduction as you can manage. And if that means you can't go all the way out here, fine, so be it. All right, ribs are down, push overhead. And now try to feel the scapula upward and downward rotating with the upper arm. So we're supposed to see all that integrate through a compound movement like this. Exactly. Come back down, irradiate, keep irradiating, keep creating tension in your upper arm. Push all the way up. Beautiful. Good. Squeeze the glutes too. Glutes, ribs down. Yes. You got two in you? Stop there. You can see how the right side's starting to give out. And that's okay. Go ahead and dump that. Does that kind of make sense? Again, just trying to get the scapula to move with the upper arm. This is also the same issue we see with people when they do like a lateral raise. If they go and do a lateral raise with a dumbbell and the scapula isn't moving up with the upper arm, then the shoulder is going to run into issues because you're simply missing an important component of the lateral raise. So for your lateral raise, we're going to go ahead and have you step out just a tad right there. We have the ankle cuff on your wrist because that is one more joint being eliminated from the equation. People do lateral raises. They'll often reach up and shrug their shoulder as they reach up. right? They need to upward rotate, not elevate their scapula. Two different things. So eliminating your hand from the equation should help you conceptualize reaching out more and not so much reaching up. So what I want you to do is bring your arm out and think about trying to touch Nick with your wrist all the way out to here. Okay, so you're reaching outward, not upward. The cueing is gonna change whether you get scapula, traps, or delt. Bring your arm down slowly. And as you come down, I want you trying to feel your medial delt lengthen. This is now the lengthened position. We want full range of motion, just like everything else. Go ahead and come out again like you're reaching for me. You're handing me the cuff. Feel your medial delt. Reach out and try to irradiate tension in your arm. And then bring it back across and then train it to length as well. And so the idea too is that we're doing a lateral raise on a cable because you have even tension from here. And as you come up, we are still maintaining even tension through the top of the range of motion. If I gave you a dumbbell, is the dumbbell gonna be really hard up here or really easy up here? Hard as shit. But then is it gonna be easy or hard down here? Easy, right? It's uneven. It's harder as you go up. On the cable, we have an even strength curve. That is the emphasis, is that you're able to contract the medial delt through its full range with even tension, so to speak. And so again, as the arm comes across the midline of the body, we should feel the lateral delt lengthening. And then as you come out, you're reaching for me as opposed to reaching up towards the roof. As soon as you start reaching up towards the roof, we're gonna get elevation of the traps. Not what I want. Come back down. And again, the scapula should basically almost be downward rotating through here. And then as you reach back out, it upward rotates with the humerus. So at no point are you elevating to get the arm up. Are you able to effectively separate your delt from your traps? Okay, that's all we're trying to do here. Because again, when people are doing lateral raises, they reach up as far as they can and they wonder why they get neck tissue. They wonder why they get trap tissue. And so the cable cuff is eliminating the wrist from the equation. The elbow is along for the ride. The shoulder is the prime mover in isolation. And the scapula is moving in synergy with the upper arm, the humerus. You're maintaining tension too. You're irradiating through the upper arm. Keep squeezing your fist as well. Bring the arm across. Let's get like 3 more reps there. And then we'll switch to the other side. Front delt raise. We're gonna step forward until the cable has tension on it. You have the freedom to train this with relative internal rotation or relative external rotation, right? External, internal. If we're using this handle, it has to be internal rotation, right? If we wanted to get rid of the handle and you prefer doing this in ER, fine, I don't really care. But just like all other training, you can change the specificity. And if you were like, oh, I feel my front delt more when I train external rotation, fine. I feel it better internal rotation, fine. I don't really care, right? It's the training stimulus you're giving your shoulder. Again, the cable gives you that full contractile range, so we're gonna train on that first. I'll let you pick if you use the handle or not. It's kind of up to you.
I think I'd rather not.
Yeah, fine. So, starting position, arms straight, the cable has tension on it. Right now, you have your shoulder in a stretched position. If I had a dumbbell in your hand, there would be no stretch right now. And as you go up, it would be very difficult. Whereas right now there's tension, irradiate your arm, drive the arm all the way forward. You have tension all the way through. I want you to feel your front delt fully shortening. If you had the dumbbell in your hand, it would be hard as shit up here and progressively easier as you come back down. And again, that's what we're contrasting. And so you're maintaining tension. We feel the shoulder go from the shortened position to the lengthened position, go all the way into shoulder extension. You felt that pop in your shoulder there. Now we have anterior tissue lengthening that you would not get if you were on a dumbbell. Bring the arm all the way forward again. Keep creating tension, feel the front delt. You might feel some pec too. That's fine, it's gravy on top. Yep, and then come back forward or back again. And again, create tension, eccentrically load, and you could do this to improve shoulder extension, right? If someone was tight in shoulder extension, why not use a cable to do a loaded stretch for it? Do you want more weight? No? Go, roll with it. One good set here. Keep irradiating. Try to create tension in your shoulder as you do that. You're not just irradiating the arm, you're trying to not have any leakage to your pec, to your bicep, to your forearm. The front of the shoulder should be doing all the work. Slow, slow, slow. Feel that stretch be initiated as the arm travels behind you. We feel this go to length. Now create tension. All this tissue begins shortening and coming together. All the way up, find the end of it, yes. And then as you come apart, or as you come back, this tissue starts pulling apart and it goes to length. Exactly, all the way back, all the way back, all the way back up. Yes, shorten it, shorten it, shorten it. Come back again, same deal, front delt to length. Last one here, and then I'm gonna give you the dumbbell as a drop set. All the way to length. Take this and contrast it. Right now there's no load on your shoulder, right? Because the dumbbell's pulling down, not pulling back like the cable did. So you effectively cannot stretch your shoulder using this tool. But now reach forward. Do you feel how it's progressively harder as you go up? It should be really hard up at the top relative to the bottom position. And again, it's not better or worse, it's different. But you're not able to train this tissue to length the same way you could on the cable.
It gets the shortest position.
It emphasizes the shortened position, that is right. And so again, understanding that the exercise is just a training stimulus, right? It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different. And at the end of the day, I think both have a lot of merit. And if you told me you felt this in your shoulder more and you had a preference for dumbbell raises, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the cable objectively is better on paper from a mechanical tension standpoint. And then also with the dumbbell, you have the freedom to internally rotate, and that should feel a bit different on the front delt because now you're changing the orientation, the lines of tissue that are being trained. Does that make sense, how they contrast one another? And you could do the same thing with the dumbbell raise and feel that out, and you could also find somewhere in the middle, right? Where you're doing like a front delt raise, half medial delt raise. There's nothing wrong with that either, but let's have you do your other arm, and then we can move on. The last component of shoulder training we're gonna work on is upright rows. You have the freedom to upright row with a barbell, okay? Generally speaking, the more narrow my arms are, the more front delt you're gonna get. The wider my arms are, the more medial delt I'm gonna get, more side delt, okay? You can do this with a cable as well. Narrow hand placement, reach up, wider hand placement. Let's have you start with the barbell, see how it feels. Go ahead and tinker with narrow hand placement as you reach up, but make sure you're irradiating tension in your arm as you reach up. And as you reach up, flare the elbows, and we're looking to find medial and front delt. You might feel traps here. That is fine for today. I will take that. And I'll bring it down. Upright rows are known to have a bad rap because people say it pinches their shoulder. Now you tell me, food for thought, it's a bit rhetorical, is the upright row a bad exercise, or is the shoulder that's doing an upright row bad for the upright row? Exactly. Right? The internal needs to match the external. So an upright row is not an inherently dangerous exercise. But if you told me on your bad shoulder that you feel like a pinch, closing side restriction, not a healthy contraction, then we simply are gonna avoid it for now until your capsule gets better, right? Your internal training improves. Now let's make your hands wider, like much wider, like all the way to the end of the gradient. Yep. And now do the exact same thing and just take a mental note of how the tension is less on the front of the shoulder and more on the side of the shoulder. You might get more traps in it. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. Let's run with a couple reps there. Then you're gonna go to the cable, do the exact same thing. Are you getting any weirdness in that bad shoulder?
No.
Good, healthy, different.
Healthy, yeah.
Good, and you can do this with dumbbells too, kettlebells. Doesn't really matter. I'm just having you contrast the free weight with the cable in a moment. Give me 3 more reps, and then we're gonna go to the cable and kind of juxtapose them for you. Dump it, grab that bar for me. Same deal. And again, it's just preferences, right? So same principle, you're lifting up through the elbow. You're thinking about flexing the shoulder, flaring the elbows as you come up. And now again, think about how does the tension feel relative to the free weight, and develop your own preferences. If one feels better than the other, worse than the other, cool. It's also what your access to equipment is. If you prefer the cable, but the cable isn't available, you can do a free weight. If someone doesn't have a free weight that's heavy enough, they can load the cable a little bit better. So just having different modalities, different tools in your tool belt can kind of allow for you to have a little bit more flexibility during your workout, right? So you're not so stagnant. Does that make sense? Did the shoulder not like that?
Yeah, you got to a point where it's just...
Shoulder didn't like that. And so that's for you to dictate, was it the upright row that was bad? Was it the modality, the cable versus the free weight? Or are you simply burning out on me? And if you're simply burning out on me, there's merit to that too, because the shoulder has historically given you problems, and we've done a lot of stuff already. And so that's where, are we taking out debt on your shoulder just to perform the exercise, right? Is this good quality stimulus if we kept going? Probably not. And then it's kind of on you to dose your volume in a manner that allows for you to train as optimal as you can. And I can't really help you with that, right? It's kind of on you to trial and error, see how you feel tomorrow. If your shoulder feels like shit tomorrow, then we clearly did too much. And that's okay, it happens, right? If your shoulder feels good, do the same thing, run it back. Go heavier on some of the exercises. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to do, and it's rear delt flies. I don't want to forget about that. So right now you're training the rear delt, the back of the shoulder. The rear delt's what's going to make your shoulder look the most complete, the most capped, the most round. When we're doing the cable crossover, the wrist is going to be relatively flexed. I don't want you fully flexing it. You don't need to exaggerate it. The shoulder is relatively internally rotated, but you don't need to be at end range IR. End range is not the goal. Okay. For the scapula is moving freely with the upper arm. I don't want you thinking shoulder blades back and down. I want you giving zero thought to your scapula. Now, while reaching out, I don't want you to think about reaching back. So you're thinking about reaching this hand towards Nick here, and you're reaching this hand towards the pull-up machine. As soon as you start reaching backwards, you're gonna start getting scapula retraction, not shoulder abduction. Shoulder abduction is different than this. You see how my scapula is pulling back? Not the goal. The goal is this. This is a different movement than that, okay? So cue yourself to reach out right now. Pull apart. Apart, apart, not back. Pause. Flex the wrist a smidge, and now come together. Do we have tension on the back of the shoulder? It's a tiny muscle, meaning you need very deliberate positioning and irradiation of tension. You're ripping it apart. You're not bringing your arms backwards. So the scapula shouldn't be fully retracted. The scapula is along for the ride. All that's moving is this upper arm, and this is what's doing the work, not all of this. See that wrist again? Yep. Bring the arms up a little bit, that might help. Reach out again. Beautiful. You burning out already?
Yeah.
Is the shoulder hurting or just hard?
It was burned out.
We're going lighter, we're going lighter, we're going lighter. Give yourself a minute, give yourself a minute. Well, we found your rear delt.
No, for sure.
Yeah, so now,
hard.
So you turned it on, yeah. Now you're just gonna beat it to a pulp.
Okay.
Yeah, on this next set, whenever you're ready. All right, last bit, and then you're a free man. So, same principles. Arm is relatively internally rotated, wrist is relatively flexed. The scapula is just along for the ride, and you're reaching out, not backwards. Beautiful. Yes. And so for those watching the video, they can see that the scapula is sort of moving with the upper arm, but he at no point is fully retracting. He's not doing this, he is doing this. This is very different than that. And so at no point his shoulder blades actually came together. You see the only part moving is the upper arm. For this one, squeeze your shoulder blades as you pull apart. That is scapula retraction. And now relax the scapula. Let the upper arm move freely. Good. Do it without the scapula now. Reach out. You feel the rear delt there. Beautiful. And now come forward. And now reach backwards, not out. Get the scapula to retract with you. You feel how you get way more recruitment through the upper back when you do that?
Yeah.
It's two different things. And so if you reach too far, keep going, you're not done, we're gonna bury this. More isn't inherently better. Watch those wrists. Now we're gonna bury the set. Keep going, breathe, man, keep your composure. Yes, again, I don't want you stopping yet. You got at least 6 or 8 more. Beautiful, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Good job. It's starting to burn, right? Creeps up on you big time. But your shoulders should feel like very full after doing that. And the rear delt isn't a big muscle. It's super tiny, but it does a lot for how complete the shoulder looks. So it's like the illusion of how big the shoulder is because you actually have development on one of the smaller muscles. And again, when people are doing it, they're reaching so far apart that their scapula is fully short. This is different than this. And I can't emphasize that enough. The same principles with dumbbells as well, is if you were to do like a dumbbell fly, I am reaching out, I am not reaching up, because as soon as you reach up, the scapula jumps into it. And that's like one of those things where people go for full range of motion, and they're doing the wrong full range of motion. They're integrating, like you can do full range of motion deadlift, but if you run out of hip flexion, what do you end up running into? Spine flexion. Right? More range of motion, yes, but the wrong stuff was at full range of motion. Rear delts are people are very guilty of doing that on rear delt flies, and it goes a very long way in how complete your shoulder looks, and not just complete, but also how well it functions, because that's another component of it that's really important for how well the shoulder moves in general. Make sense?
Yeah.
Questions on that? We did shoulder press, cable lateral raises, we did front delt raises, contrasting dumbbells and cables. We did upright rows with a free weight and a cable. You preferred the free weight. And then we did cable crossovers for rear delts. So in my mind, and I think on paper too, like fundamentally, that completes the shoulder workout. Now, could you manage all of that in one workout? That's for you to decide. And if you were like, I can only tolerate 50% of that volume, split it up into 2 days a week. There's nothing wrong with that. Do some of it with the chest day, do some of it on its own arm day, right? That's where the split design kind of comes into play. But in principle, I think those are the tools that you should be working on.
All right.
Cool?
That was good.
That was good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So much for watching the Bodybuilding Not Body Breaking YouTube channel. If you found it helpful, drop a comment, like, subscribe, share it with a friend or family. That stuff really helps us in expanding our reach to popularizing this training approach, because we know there just isn't a better way to do things. If you have interest in diving deeper into the stuff you just watched, feel free to join our school community. On our school community, we have a lot of additional content. We have an exercise library that has over 200 different movement options. We have programs. We have additional videos that are concepts, lectures, and rants to give you guys a deeper understanding as to how and why we do things. We also have a discussion board where you can get direct access to coaching feedback from me personally. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for additional updates for when we post new content. Thank you again for watching, and we hope it was of use to you.